Well, hey friends, it's tea time with Tracey and Violet. Violet's behind you, laying her puffy butt down on the Chesterfield, having a little kink. But I just got my kids to bed a little while ago. I got the laundry going, the dishes going, got the lunches packed, and yeah, it's time for a spot of tea. I'm having cozy cinnamon Tetley tea, and I need to let it steep for a little bit. But first, let me show you girl that came out to play. If you can see over my shoulder, but those aren't familiar with my house, I have a beautiful Mother's Hubbard's cupboard full of beauties. And there's always either a fairy or a witch living in one of these teacups, and they all have a story to tell. They certainly do. Some are old, some are young, some are mean, some are nice. They're all nice to me, because I'm the queen. Queen of the teacup witches and fairies. Yeah. Anyways, she has some gold up around the top. And if you see on her arm, she has gold on the side of her arm, on her elbow, and the back of her arm. Fancy, huh? Not to mention, she has gold down at the bottom. And this is her pedestal or her skirt. Beautiful. Made in England, bone china. So she's a little thicker of a girl. She's has a little heft in her. I want this so bad. I don't think it's done yet. Oh, my hand is sore. It's tired. I need a little whiff. I need a little whiff. It's too pale to be proper, but delicious, delicious. But I have a book haul. I got some stuff in my mailbox and some stuff from Amazon on my doorstep. So we're gonna start opening some packages. I wanted to do this tonight. I filmed a couple videos today, which will be up. But yeah, this one was in my mailbox. I don't know what ones are coming. I like to keep it a surprise for myself too. You know what I'm saying? I love surprises. And most of the books I buy are secondhand. I rarely buy new books. Sometimes I do. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I do. Oh, I know what this one is. Oh, ooh. This one, bought this secondhand by Irvin Welsh. It's called Filth. Yeah. You know, Animal Farm. No, that's not Animal Farm. Train Spotting. He wrote the story Train Spotting, you know, the movie. I haven't read the book. I love the movie. I'd like to read the book sometime, but Filth. And what I recall of this, well, it says contains drug use, perversion, murder, corruption, sexism, racism, law enforcement, and a tapeworm. A snarling epic book. Don't dare miss it, by a Scotsman. Anyways, suitable for persons of strong constitution. What I remember of this is, yeah, I got this from Thrift Books. That's not going to show up, but I did. This is about a disgruntled police officer, I believe. He's a real a-hole. He's racist, he's sexist, he has a foul mouth, and he's completely unhealthy, mentally and physically. But he's a head honcho in the police force, or maybe not a head honcho. He might be a loose cannon kind of thing. But I guess they made a movie out of this, which I had no idea. I don't want to see the movie. Now a motion picture starring James McAvoy, Jamie Bell, and Jim Broadbent. Yeah, didn't even know. He's riding a big old hog. But this police officer, who is a darn right awful human being, who does all these things, is kind of like a sociopath on the edge of a nervous breakdown. He does some awful things. He treats everybody horribly, nobody nicely, and I guess it's quite something to behold. So I need to see what the big whoop is about this. And I'm not going to read this right now. I'll probably read this in the new year. I know I'm getting it now, but when something tickles my fancy, I grab it. And when it's a thrift price, I grab it even faster. But, yeah, so I guess he has his own internal conscience, dialogue, but he also has, which I can see here, he has a tapeworm, and the tapeworm has a narrative in this too, has a conscience too. So he's slowly killing himself, doing these perverse, crazy things. But in the book, you can see the pages. I'm assuming, I'm not going to read them, those bits with the little things are the conversation, the narrative of the tapeworm. So, what? Yeah. Filth. I do, like I say, want to get Train Spotting and see, but I will read this before I get that, because I like the movie so much of Train Spotting. I just want to, I'll give this one a chance before I do that. The book's probably even better. I don't know, but there's one. I need to see this. I need to see if this is done. Oh, I can't handle it. Can't handle it. No, I'm tired and I would like to go to bed, but I want to get this stuff done. And this is a little break for me. I really love talking about the books that I read. I wish I could read as fast as I'd like to be able to read, but I love to have a platform and watch people on YouTube, BookTube, and just talk freely. I'm not a big swearer, person that curses a whole lot. Don't get me wrong. I'll drop the F-bomb sometimes, but I usually, substitute it with something silly, because that's just what I've done, because I've been a mom for 27 years, and it's just easier to do that, so now it's stuck. But to have a platform to be able to talk about the books, whether they're conventional or not, taboo or not, sexy or not, scary or not, I love being able to talk about my books here, and I love to share conversations with you, and I love to see people having that free will on talking about their books as well. You can see the steam. This is good and hot. I love a good hot cup of tea. I would chug-a-lug it, but then I would not be able to talk. So, there. Let's try this one. This comes from Discover Books. I got this secondhand, of course. All these you can get on Amazon new, but I got a package here, which is not a book. I'm going to open it anyways, just because it came. And it's fun to open mail. Oh, my scissors are dirty. What is on? Oh, Violet. What are you doing? You better not be hacking up a bone. Hacking up a lung. For goodness sakes. I'm using a steak knife because my scissors are in the dishwasher. I have other scissors, but I can't be bothered. An Unwanted Guest. I believe this is a thriller. And it's hardcover too. And it has like a plastic coating over top. It must have been a library book or something. Does it have that thing in the back? Yeah. Norwalk Public Library in Norwalk, CT. Where is CT? In the States, I assume. Looks like a zip code. We have postal codes. I forget what this is about. This is by Shari Lapin. Oh God, my mind isn't working. I'll figure it out. But I can't remember. A weekend retreat at a cozy mountain lodge is supposed to be the perfect getaway, but when the storm hits, no one is getting away. It's winter in Catskills and Michelle's Inn, nestled deep in the woods. It is a perfect setting for a relaxing, maybe even romantic getaway. It boasts spacious old rooms with a huge wood-burning fireplace, a well-stocked wine cellar, and the opportunities for cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, or just curling up with a good murder mystery. So when the weather takes a turn for the worst and the blizzard cuts off the electricity and all contact with the outside world, the guests settle in and try to make the best of it. Sounds all right to me. Soon, though, one of the guests turns up dead. It looks like an accident, but when a second guest dies, they start to panic. Within a snowed-in paradise, something or someone is picking off the guests one by one, and there's nothing they can do but hunker down and hope they can survive the storm and one another. So this sounds like it would be a good wintertime read. And I like this format. Like, it's not teeny tiny. It's spaced nicely. I could probably read this relatively quickly on a nice snowy day. 290 pages. But yeah, an unwanted guest. So yeah, I don't think it's like ghost or anything. I think it's human monsters. Well, that's the thing at the last. I think I know what it is. So here's the other thing. Right. I don't need that all in the picture. All right. Well, I wonder if the other ones came. I got this from Lake Crouch. It's a trilogy, and I bought all three of them secondhand. Wayward, paperback, good condition. The other ones might be in here, but I think there's three. And what my understanding is, let me just see here. What my understanding is that a police officer or FBI agent is sent to this little community, but gets in a car accident and wakes up, doesn't know who he is, or he knows who he is, but I guess he can't contact the outside. Everybody seems very friendly, but it's a very strange town, and nobody's actually helping him. They're just being nice to him or something. And I don't see the other ones in here, so they'll be on their way, I guess. They'll be on their way. These two, but there is another one. This is the first one. I guess the show Twin Peaks was made after this series. So if you watch Twin Peaks, I was young when that first came out. Younger, like child, I believe. Like Mally's age, Maziah's age, something like that. Oh, well, you on here might not know. I have 6 children, ages 6 to 27, 26. So, you know, I'm talking, I was probably 8 or 9 or 10 when that came out. Anyways, that show was based off of this book series, I guess. So, yeah, I hear very good things about it. And, yeah, I'll just wait on the last one. And we'll go from there. Oh, I don't know if I should read the back of that, but that's pretty much what it is. Yeah. Ethan comes to with no ID and no cell phone. The medical staff seem friendly enough, but something feels off. As the days pass, Ethan's investigation into his colleague's disappearance. Yeah, he's sent to this town to look for a colleague. That's what it is. Turns up with more questions than answers. Yeah, and I guess the whole town is surrounded by a great big metal fence. Like, he can't actually physically get out of this town. He's blocked in. So, I don't know. I can't remember Twin Peaks that well, so I'll go into this kind of blind. Lovely. All right. If you've seen my last, I don't know if it was my last book haul, but I told you I wanted to go on a reading spree about like apocalyptic, dystopian, end of the world, or things like that sort of thing. I ordered some books. I did. I've seen a lot of people mention this one. I'm really excited about this one. On the Beach. It's not very long. I guess this happens in Australia, and my understanding is there was a nuclear war all over the world. Like, one country bombed another country bombed another country. Anyways, with all the fallout, everybody in the world has died from radiation poisoning, except this far end of Australia. Only they're sitting there, and they know the radiation is coming their way. So they have, I don't know how long they have. They have, say, 2 months until the radiation actually hits them. So they're the last people on Earth, and they see the whole world die, and they're the last people on Earth. It's my understanding. So I don't know what happens. It sounds heartbreaking. I couldn't imagine that. You know, so that is one. I have a few more in here. I actually read this book last year. Well, I listened to the audiobook, which was fantastic. This is a trilogy, which I got the whole trilogy. 1 Second After. This is about EMP. Let me just see. What's the other one? That must be the other one. 1 Second After. 1 Year After. And then The Final Day. It's a whole... I should do this so I can take a picture of it. This, like, you know, how people do. I'm not very good at this, but there. There. Click. Anyways, I listened to the audiobook of that. 1 Second After is what I did. I bought this one secondhand and that one secondhand. I think I bought this one new. The audiobook was amazing, and like the narrator was fantastic. The story was heartbreaking. I didn't really know. I knew the gist of it in the sense it was an EMP, so nobody has electricity and they gotta survive. It's so much more than that, what I can remember. This man, what, I forget if he was a police officer or not. I don't know. And I forget exactly where this takes place. I know it's in the States, but I forget where. An EMP hits, so everything's shut down. Cars, refrigeration, hospitals, it all goes to hell in a handbasket. And this is one of the scariest books I've ever read. I can take possession, I can take ghosts, I can take demons, I can take everything, the unknown. That is terrifying for me. And this really shook me in the sense like, oh my God, he has a little girl who has diabetes. She's just little, and you get to know her a bit. For insulin, you got to have a refrigerator. So, you know, that's just one little blip of that story. And after reading that, I was like, oh, I don't think I can read the next book. Really. I think I can now. And I'll probably read the first one again before I read the second one. But it was amazing. It was. And that was a man-made thing. And there was no government help kind of thing. Like, everything was shut down. I think eventually things started to look like there might be some assistance coming. But for the most part, it was martial law. And how terrifying is that? I mean, you think it might be exciting. But when it comes down to it, I'm thinking if was martial law, and one of my kids had diabetes, and I don't have a refrigerator, and I don't know how to make a cold storage, and I can't go to town and get insulin from the pharmacy because there's a million other people there trying to do the same thing, what you gonna do? Lock, stock, and 2 smoking barrels? Like, what's gonna come at you after that? So, anyways, disturbing. It was disturbing. So, yeah, that's one. That was a little tangent. Anyways, those goes along with the same theme. Now, I got, it's not going to be in here, but I bought The Road. I plan on reading that too. That would fall into this category. If you know The Road by Cormac McCarthy. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. All right, Tracy. On the prize. This one is The Book of M. I bought this one secondhand. Now, one afternoon at an outdoor market in India, a man's shadow disappears, an occurrence that science cannot explain. He is only the first. The phenomenon spreads like a plague, and while those affected gain a strange new power, the magic comes at a horrible price, the loss of their memories. 2 years later, Ori and his wife Max have escaped the forgetting by hiding in an abandoned hotel deep in the woods outside of Arlington, Virginia. I thought this was in India, but whatever. Maybe there's an India in Virginia? Is there? Anyways, their new life feels almost normal until their greatest fear happens to them, and Max's shadow disappears too. Knowing that the more she forgets, the more dangerous she will become to the person most precious to her. Max runs away while Ori is out foraging for supplies, but he refuses to give up on what little time they have left together. Desperate to find Max before her memory disappears completely, Ori follows her trail across a perilous, unrecognizable world, braving the threat of the roaming bandits. The call to the new war being waged amid the ruins of the capital, and the rise of a sinister cult that worships the Shadowless. On their separate journeys, each searches for answers. For Ori, about love, about survival, about hope, and for Max, about the mysterious new forest growing in the south that may hold the cure. So, I couldn't imagine losing my shadow. Oh, where's my shadow? Oh, it's directly behind me. You can see it. I haven't lost my shadow yet. Come on, shadow. Anyways, yeah. So I guess this world gets ravished in some way. And maybe they go crazy because they don't have any memories and they turn into animals. I don't know. I really don't know. So that came up while I was looking up this kind of a trope of book. So I thought I'd get it. That was by Ping, P-E-N-G, Ping Shepherd. So now this one, The Last Policeman. I guess this is a series. I just got the first one. And this is some sort of end of the world thing. I think it might be a meteor or something. Is it? Pre-apocalyptic United States. First in a trilogy, The Last Policeman offers a mystery set on the brink of an apocalypse. Shadow, just... yeah, I think it's a meteor or something. Anyways, I guess people only have a little bit of time left, and he's still trying to solve this murder mystery, even though his time is very limited. Why is he wasting his time? But I guess he's a through and through police officer, I guess. But I hear it's good. And I thought it sounded like a different take on something. Most people would throw the hat in. If I only had 3 days left in this world, I'm not going to work. but I guess this guy does. But I hear it's good. And winner of Edgar Award, Sharp, Funny, Deeply Wise by Slate. So that one. And then I got 2 more. This one, I don't think this falls into that category. I think this is a horror, I believe. A disturbing horror. George Batali, Story of the Eye. Yeah, I guess this is quite something twisted. In 1928, George Batali published under a pseudonym this first novel, a legendary shocker that uncovers the dark side of the erotic by means of forbidden, obsessive fantasies, excess, and sexual extremes. A classic of pornographic literature. Story of the Eye finds parallels in Sadie and, I don't know how to say that name, it's a different name, I'll have to look it up, and in the investigations of contemporary psychology. It also forecasts Batali's own theories of ecstasy, death and transgressions, which he develops in later work. Batali's work, okay, then there's quotes. If this is the one I'm thinking of, I think the man and the woman in this story like to test the boundaries. I might be getting this wrong with a different one, but they come fascinated with a third woman and bring her into the mix. And I think the 2 women really hit it off. And then he might be not comfortable with that or something. I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to relook at it. But it sounded quite extreme. And I like to push the boundaries. Again, I need to see what the big whoop is. Is it really as crazy as people are saying? Am I the crazy one? I don't know. But I'm going to read it. And I'll let you know if you're interested. I know it's probably not everybody's cup of tea. It's not a long book. Like, it's really 100 pages. It's 101 pages and then outline of a sequel to Story of the Eye. I didn't know. Anyways, have you ever heard of this one? Okay, last but not least, I actually have this in an audiobook and I haven't listened to it yet. But I wanted to, I'm into Swan Song. If you look up that kind of trope about end of the world, apocalyptic kind of thing, people, it's very popular, The Stand and Swan Song. And I have this in Audible, and I'll probably listen to it as I read this, because this is a beast. Look at that. I love books like that. I do. I don't mind reading big books like this. I really don't. I can't read them as fast as I can read other books, obviously. But this is like 919 pages. And that, my friends, is a story to be told, to be read, to, yeah, but I hear it's fantastic. I really don't know. I've seen reviews on it, not for a while. But it's the end of the world, and there's good and evil in it. It's not quite, like, people often compare this with The Stand or say they're similar. They're not really similar, but in regards to the element of good and evil. I don't know if it's an actual religious thing or not. I really don't know. Couldn't tell you. But that's the end of my book haul. I'll open that last thing just because I have you here. I have you here for the evening. I don't want to break it. Oh, styrofoam in there. It's great. That's going to be all over the place. All over the place, Violet. Okay. Oh, there's tape there too. It must be fragile. Okay. God. Goodness sakes. Get out of here. I got a witch's kitchen sign. It's going to go on my bulletin board in the kitchen. I've got a couple other signs to go with this to put up there. Isn't that neat? It's actual, is it? Yeah, it's actual very thin metal. But it's like one of those decorative license plate kind of metal. So it could bend easily, but witch's kitchen. So, yes, yes. Well, I'm going to finish this pot of tea. Where's my... Thanks for joining me tonight. I need to go check the videos I was editing earlier. Make sure that they post and all that jazz. But anyways, I'm going to put those away. Like after I read all my scary books that I have recently acquired. I thought I'd have them all read before Halloween. I probably won't because I can't help myself. I want to read some suspense thriller ones. And then in the new year, read those ones. I'm thinking. If I can manage it that way. But I think next month when I do my to be read list, I don't think I'm going to get all the books that I had planned to get done this month, but I've gotten quite a few of them done. I think any haunted house books that are big, I'm going to save for after Halloween because I want to read all the smaller ones so I can get more read. It's not like a competition or anything. I want to engulf myself in the Halloween spirit and switching from one story to the next because I can read, you know, smaller stories. Like, I don't mind 600, I don't mind 900 page books, but if I was to do that, that would take me a few days to read. And by a few, you know, it would take me a week to read probably with 200 to 300 pages. Much easier. So anyways, yeah, I don't know why I started talking about that. Oh, the haunted houses. Yeah, the haunted houses books. I'm probably going to do another little section like that to concentrate just on haunted house stories. Even though I've read a few already this season, but I have an affinity for them and I have quite a lot. So I don't want to read just haunted house stories this holiday season, this fall season. I want to read other scary stories like the unknown, demons, possession, witches, or, you know, not that witches are scary, but you know what I'm saying, monsters and whatnot. So anyways, I'm going to say peace, love, and happiness today and every single day. Please like, share, and subscribe if you so choose, but if not, that's okay too. I still love you. I still want all the happiness in the world for each and every one of you out there. I certainly do. I really, really honest and truly do. Yes, I do. I really do. So, all right, guys, with that, I'm going to say have a good night or have a good morning. And I might see you tomorrow. Bye. Bloop.